just do it as a memorial sort of thing?
I did, again.
I can do it too, I guess. I don't know if we all need to do it or not, or whatever, I guess. Janet Beaver's mother. That buyer?
Marjorie, I don't know. He's been gone for a long time, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is.
All right. It is 9 a.m. and I would like to call this meeting to order of the County Commissioners. It is Tuesday, January 28th. We'll start out the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Myron, I believe it would be your turn today.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, with that, little housekeeping. We are streamed live, so if you do come up and address the commission, if you'd please state your name. Also, if you have a cell phone, if you would please put that on vibrate, that would be much appreciated. With that, I will call for any public comment from anyone that on an item that is not on the agenda. We would not be able to act on it, but for comment only. Seeing none, is there any conflict of interest on any of the agenda items from the commission?
No.
All right, seeing none then, I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
We will have an executive session under personnel, just so that you're all aware of that.
Second the motion.
All right, we got a motion and a second. Any other additions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, that motion carries. Minutes of the January 21st, 2020 meeting. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved by Van
Second.
Duzen,
I'll second
second
that
by
motion.
Gable. Is there any corrections on that? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. We are going to skip over number 6. We're going to go to 7 for the sheriff. He needs to get out of here today, so we'll come back to item number 6. So with that, Brad, would you come up with your report?
Morning. How's it going?
Morning, Brad.
Yeah, a whole booklet of stuff here.
Heard you on radio yesterday, did a good job.
Thank you. Rob Manwith will be doing the end of year jail report. And a couple jail items on here as well, so. Hand them out.
That's the same one, that one.
Yeah, that's the same one, so. All right, everybody's got a monthly balance sheet there. We're going to actually jump back to November. We'll hit November and December. Okay, wasn't in the report in December. So, monthly balance sheet for November. Beginning balance was $5,350.50. Copy fees collected $36. Sheriff's fees collected $4,350. And warrant fees collected $3,375. For a grand total of $4,761. We jump to the next page there. You got the December monthly balance sheet. Beginning $9,168. Copy fees collected of $40. Sheriff's fees of $8,038.50. And warrant fees collected $500. For a grand total of $8,578.50. Jump to the next there. These guys pulled up on the big screen. We got the November and December stats there for the Sheriff's Office. Responded to 667 calls in November, 588 in December. You can see the, looking at December there, the wind tower project is starting to come to an end, so traffic slowed down a little bit. So that kind of has a little hindrance on the cases and calls a little bit as well. Accidents responded to 49 in November, 17 reports in December. Warrants from 68 served in November and 94 in December. Civil papers served 187 in November, 183 in December. And the transport miles are 3,686 in November. In December was up again a little bit at 4,277. If you jump on down to the jail activity there, you see our average daily population for November was 66.83. December was 59.26. Our high ADP was 76 in November and 69 in December. Our low was 58 November, 51 December. On the Scram, on the 24/7 program, on the Scram bracelet, we had 30 people in November, 39 people in December. On the twice weekly PBTs, twice daily PBTs, we had 51 people in November and 55 participants in December. Twice weekly UAs, we had 39 in November and 26 in December. The sweat patch, 2 in November, 3 in December. And bookings, you can see 206 in November and in December, 210. So that's kind of staying consistent. On the 24/7 program, you can see we had a total of 123 participants in December, 122 in November, so that number is staying kind of consistent as well.
If I can interject just Madam Chair, just looking at this now shows 13 months on this, so you can see December last year, so a year ago the same month. And that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
Lee kind of runs with charts and graphs thing here. I had him put another month on there, so we have the 13 months. You can kind of see the comparison from the year before.
So it's a couple inmates lower basically this year, which is interesting.
December last year. If you want to scroll on down, we'll fees collected. The fees collected for out-of-county contracts in November, $22,362.59. In December, it was $15,527.34. Work release fees collected $12,180. December was $7,860. 24/7 fees collected $4,692. In November, December was $6,740. Scram fees collected $4,310 in November and $4,702 in December.
Madam Chair, we haven't talked about this for a while, but just so people know, on the radio you were talking about the out-of-county contracts quite a bit, and that's that top number there, with that 5 to 9% of the jail population from other counties, and then as far as the numbers here that you're talking about, the money numbers here, that's from the jail. But what you're talking about before is the sheriff's office, just so people understand all the differences.
Yep, and we'll jump into I got the end of the report here coming up. So, in one of my piles of stuff here, wanted to talk about kind of year-end date numbers for the security booth that we had going down there. So, it was up and running May 29th, 2019 until 12/31, so the end of the year. So we had 144 days total of the operation running. And there was 54,667 people that went through the metal detector. It's 54,667 people in 144 days, so you can tell the courthouse is definitely busy. There was 8,190 bags and packages that were run through the x-ray machine. Total knives or blades that were turned away was 1,134. So 1,134 knives, blades turned away. 30 mace canisters that were caught, that were turned away, and other weapons were 137.
How many days was that?
144.
Okay.
There was 3 guns that were turned away, and a couple tasers as well. So,
How many guns was that?
3 guns. There was an average of 379.6 people that go through there on an average day.
What was that number again?
379.6 on an average day that people go through that security booth.
What type of response are we getting from people coming through there? Are they more accepting of that now?
As time goes on, they're getting to be a little more accepting. We've got proper signage at the front and the back of the courthouse, so people are catching that a little bit beforehand. People are still miss or forget that they had something in their purse, or maybe that they're carrying their weapon, and we'll try to bring it in. But it is a lot more receptive than when we first started. It was kind of one of those things, why do we have to do this? And as we've been explaining to people, it's been, they understand.
I might mention, in legislature, I've had a conversation with Brad about Senate Bill 51, the opportunity for county employees to bring guns into the courthouse. I don't know where that's going. We're not sure why it ever got started, because like you had mentioned and I mentioned yesterday, right now each county has that control of whether you will allow that or not. So I don't really know what the purpose of this Senate Bill 51 was, if we already have that option.
Like I said, it's something as a commission, you guys, if it did pass, you guys would be able to say yea or nay to that.
Yeah, that's in that bill, so.
Scheduled.
I think the current one isn't it the presiding judge has the call with the, I mean, we would likely consult with their sheriff.
No, it's actually said in the statute that law enforcement and judges can carry in court.
And that's it, yeah.
And
Okay.
this would allow the option of
County employees.
if the county allows that.
And it was just in the courthouse, because I went and looked, so it is in other properties, so we have like extension, we have, so those aren't included in that bill.
Scheduled for a Senate hearing later today, so see where it goes today.
I'll think of that.
All right. We'll jump on down to the end of the year, the whole year report. Some more handouts.
Killing trees this month, huh?
We are.
Handouts.
Got a lot of paper. Also see another sheet. Troy. Back that one.
Yeah, together. I
And
think there's two there,
another
Myron.
check.
I think there's two there.
You need somebody missing one? Or do we get a free one?
I think you get a free one.
I didn't, was there two there?
Yeah, did you get?
Is there an extra one?
Yeah, there is.
Okay. I got an extra one of this. Does somebody else need this one? Just give it to you, Brad.
Yeah, that's right.
Nope, I got one.
You got one. All right, we'll start with the one that's like an Excel sheet here. With that, that's kind of a culmination of some sheriff's office numbers. In 2019, traffic complaints responded to 586. If you look at 2018, 456, so those numbers are a little bit higher as well. You can see the chart all the way back to 2008. How the incline has been increasing on these numbers here. Vehicle accidents that we responded to was 433 in 2019, and you can see it was 371 in 2018. Animal complaints, 287 we responded to, 270 in 2018. Responded to 23 assaults and 28 in 2018, so that's down just a little bit. 11 burglary calls that we responded to in 19, and then you can see looking back in 14, there's 14, so that number is down a little bit as well. Disorderly conduct calls, responded to 102 of those, which is down from 118 in 2018. And again, you guys can go ahead and look back in 2008. These numbers pretty much consistently rise from 2008. So,
Brad, you want to turn your mic on?
sure can. Is that better? All right. The drug narcotics calls that we actually got called to were 24, and then 36 in 2018. Theft calls, 26 and 82 in 2018, so that's actually down a lot compared to 18 as well. Vandalism calls were up. We responded to 67 compared to 23, and warrants issued was 1,150 compared to last year was 1,130, so there's 20 more warrants issued. And if we jump on down there, these are arrests that were made through the sheriff's office. The drug narcotics there, you can see that's considerably up. In 2019, there was 286 drugs and narcotics arrests that were made compared to 2018, which was 162. And then kind of going backwards, 173, 93, 42, 56, 42. So that number is definitely up in 2019.
Especially when you go back to 2008, there were 13.
And you go back to 2008, yep.
You wonder what's happening, you know?
Yep.
That's quite a jump.
Each year, it seems to be just increasing more and more and more. Intentional damage to property, there was 9 arrests there, 6 in 18, 101 DUIs compared to 63 in 2018. So DUIs are still prevalent. Underage consumptions, that's up considerably from 2018 as well. We're at 39 arrests there compared to 23 in 18. Assaults, there was 34 arrests there compared to 39 in 2018. Then all other arrests, including traffic citations, was 369 compared to 237 in 2018. You can see that that number has kind of crept up just a little bit as well. And some of that has to do with the wind tower projects that happen. There's a lot more traffic going on out in the county that the guys are responding to, and you can see the accidents are a little bit higher. Some of that has to do with the extra traffic in the county as well. So,
Brad, what do you contribute the reduction in thefts to? I mean, that's a significant drop.
that is a significant drop. Good policing? No. I'd like to think it's good policing, but
Security systems?
security systems, camera systems maybe. Like I say, they do still happen, but that's, that is
The
a,
cameras play a key role. There's cameras everywhere now. People, I think, are getting to understand that, even in the parking lot of Walmart, that guy, that's how they caught him, on Sioux Falls, right? Camera.
Now, that was actually reported thefts, right? Not arrests.
up on the top there, yes. And the rest is on the bottom.
I wonder how that compares to the city, how their crime, if they've seen a decrease in that as well.
I haven't had a chance to see their end of the year report yet. I'm not sure.
Not done yet. It'll be done this week.
Not sure if it's done yet.
It'll
So.
be interesting to see in comparison.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be similar, I would think, in many ways. Typically, we kind of follow the same, see the same things, I should say. So, all right, and if you jump to the sheet here, it's double-sided. Only one side we're looking at. The other side is the same numbers that we just went over, but it's we're going to go over the total monies that were received by the sheriff's office here. All right, so if you jump down to the end there, the total monies that were received were $358,984.30. Sheriff's fees received were $88,222.69. Executions that were collected were $10,486.56, and warrant fees collected for a grand total of $4,595. So that's a total of $92,817.69 that was remitted back to the county general fund.
Say that one more time, will you?
$92,817.69.
Thank you.
That was remitted back from the sheriff's office on fees that go back to the county general fund. So,
Is that the money that went into the Christmas fund, Cindy?
No.
Oh, that's just checking. I forgot.
so if you jump on down there, just a few more topics there. On civil papers served, 2,711 papers were served compared to 2018 was 2,784, so that's staying real similar, real close. Executions were 113 compared to 73, so executions are definitely up this year. There's a lot more of those. Civil process deputy was definitely working this year. Warrants served, 957. That was 1,150 that were issued. So staying pretty close to.
Madam Chair, it might be good to define the word execution since we're in the law enforcement area.
Okay.
So in this
Executions,
context,
just like everybody thinks, they say we got the execution, the hanging or whatever. That's not it. It's nothing cool like that. Executions are just part of the civil process of the sheriff's office. When someone owes a debt, and they have a judgment against them, it's the sheriff's responsibility to go and collect that debt when it gets turned over to us. So we go out there and try to find property that person owes that's free and clear, and we go ahead and levy on that and have a sheriff's sale. So that's what is involved with it.
People pay a fee for you to do that.
People pay a fee
Yeah.
for us on that, yes, and that's part of them civil fees that we get. The sheriff's fees receives part of that $88,222 that we get for that. So
Brad, can I get you to repeat the 2018 number for civil papers, sir, please?
sure can. That's 2,784.
Okay, thanks.
So on warrants, like say back to 957 served out of 1,150 that were issued, and it was 943 that were served last year, the year before, I should say. So those are staying consistent as well. Calls for service are up considerably. We had 7,141 calls for service in 2019 compared to 2018, which was 6,398. So you can see that the guys are definitely a lot busier as well. Transport miles, that's where we're real busy. Like I say, we topped 2018, which was a busy year as well. Then 2019, we hit 55,891 miles, so just about 56,000 miles. 2018 was 52,529 miles. So you can see that number keeps increasing each year. Mortgage foreclosures was down a little bit. We did 11 mortgage foreclosures compared to 2018, where we had 17, and accidents investigated were 189 accidents that were actually completed accident reports.
What was your 2018 number of those accident reports?
150 for 18.
Thank you.
So that's up from 18 to 19 as well. We'll jump on to the jail report here. Got Matt a copy. He can jump in wherever he'd like as well. You can kind of jump through. That's the many different pages there. We got in 2019, our average daily population was 65.37. So that's actually down a little bit from 2018, which was 67.88. You'll see them numbers. It's down about 2.51. And compared to 2017, where we were at 78.98, it's down considerably. So that number hopefully continues to go that direction. If you look at the total number of bookings in the jail, there was 2,850. That's about 120 less than the year before in 2018, but that number stays pretty similar, around 2,850 to 3,000 bookings a year, which averages to be about 8 bookings a day. You can see the total prisoner days in 2019 was 23,948, which was down a little bit from 2018 because we had a lower average daily population. We jumped down to the 24/7 program. We had 2019, we collected $78,797 from that program. Like I say, that's an offender pay program, so that does pay for jail staff to run that program and manage that program. That's down just a little bit, about $1,100 from 2018, which was $79,941. There were 38,647 PBTs that were given in 2019 with 82 failures. So that's out of 38,647, only 82 failures. There was 5,674 UAs that were given in 2019 with 46 failures and 328 people that missed it and just didn't show up. 18 drug patches that were applied, 1 failure, and 73 individuals were wearing the scram bracelet at some point in 2019 with 14 failures. We'll go over some of the monies here collected and from the jail. We got the 24/7 program fees, which is $78,797. Work release, $109,480. That was a little bit of an increase of about $26,000 from 18. Out of county contracts, we collected $194,200.40. That's that money that Lee was talking about, the monthly report there. That's the total amount of money that the county brought in. $194,200.40 from the other counties housing their inmates in our facility. $1,010 for fingerprint fees. The money to clerk of courts was $285,360.50. Scram fees, $48,431. Cost of confinement, $12,190, and Securus phone cards, $48,000, for a grand total money of $777,468.90 that the jail handled. That's how much money that each jailer, from each shift throughout the whole year has actually handled. If you take that $443,000, that's how much, $443,677.40 on the next page. That's how much money is remitted back to the county from the jail. So if you couple that with the $92,817 that the sheriff's office collected, and then the $443,000, that's a grand total of $536,495.09 that the sheriff's office remitted back to the county general fund last year. We made $12,758 from the phone cards, and if you jump to the last page, you'll see the average daily population from 1985 to 2019. And for those of you who are wondering back there, 20.85 was our average daily population in 1985, and 2019 we're at 65.37. So it steadily inclines until about 2017, and then the last couple of years it's dropped down just a little bit. Any questions on that?
Madam Chair, just a couple interesting things. I don't know if it's a question, but it's interesting that the drug narcotics arrests were up pretty significantly from 18 to 19, but yet our annual ADP went down, and so there's something maybe we can dig into in the data, but whether it's the new courtroom, I think, and the Third Circuit helping with their new process for how they handle misdemeanors.
Sentencing, I think the judge's sentencing is made probably.
Yeah, sentencing. So there's a lot of different things that are in play here.
So it's kind of interesting that
I think we'll have to give it a little bit of time before we can really pinpoint whether it's the courthouse and the new courtroom, or if it's some of these programs. Give it a little bit more time to see if any of those are actually being impactful before we can actually put all the data together.
I think it's
early.
The thing that's, just so people know, it's not an easy thing to figure those kinds of things out. A lot of times you have to go look into the individual cases of a particular, defendant. It's not something, you can get a lot out of the Zerker database, the jail database, but it's but some of the stuff, it wasn't designed for that. It was designed to keep track of individual people, not really look at data, but it's still, that's something Matt and I have been working on as we go through it, so a lot of fun.
Yep. All right. I have just a couple more things that I think are on the agenda.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to jump to those right now,
Yep.
Brenda? Or?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, we'll talk about the security track cell check system.
The number 8, action to replace the cell check system in the detention center is budgeted in 2020.
All right, it's a budgeted item to replace the cell check system that we currently have. The company that we worked with on this program back in 2010, it's been in place for about 10 years. That company is no longer in business, and he did not sell out. It's a program that he actually built personally, and so there's no service on that anymore. The computer that's been in there has been in there for 10 years. We've asked if we can just upgrade that and try to keep the program running. It was told to us that it's best just to go ahead and look towards a new program altogether. So that's what we've been doing. Over the last year, we've been doing some homework. We've come up with this company here, ITS. This program would run all our cell checks at each one of our pod areas here for the jail staff. This also, in the future, would open up and expand a little bit so it can run our door lock system. The same company was running our door lock systems, and like I say, he's no longer in business. The system that we got there is getting older and failing. But
When was that system put in?
when was it put in?
Yeah.
2010.
February of 2010.
Paid $14,994.45 in 2010 for
I
that.
make a motion to approve
Got a motion by Gable. Do I have a second to that? Second by Waterman. Any further discussion?
Just to go back, pick up
What
on
is
what,
the total amount of this?
$18,495.
And the other one was 14,000 originally,
Yeah, 14,994.
10
So,
years, that's not, we're getting a
Yep.
better system.
like I say, this system will be able to control our door locks in the future when we decide to make that shift there. So it's a good choice for the office.
So the idea that, so this would be mostly for the cell check initially, and then you can add in, as the current door lock system, if that becomes obsolete, you can put them into one system.
Yes.
And manage them that, okay, so.
Yep.
Yeah, we kind of
Where's this
need,
company out of?
Hartford.
Sioux Falls, so it's a local South Dakota company.
need locks at work, so.
That's good.
And they do work on locks as well. We had one break last week as they were up at Sunday and fixed it, so
Nice.
they're helping us with that as well.
Good.
It's kind of a suspicious question, but let's suppose in the next couple of years that if it happened that we would build a new jail, could we move any of this stuff?
This Gallagher system is something that can be moved and used from different sites, the equipment and the brains as well.
That's good question.
All right.
So these are like, this is kind of state-of-the-art-ish, is it?
Yeah, it's been out there for a little bit, but it's a good technology. It works.
Okay.
See, we've been doing homework with a lot of companies. It ranges anywhere from 50,000 on up, on down to this. So the range of the dollar amounts that we could spend on this is anywhere. The sky's the limit, really. So this is a good fit and one of the best and cheapest that we could find.
All right. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries as well. So then we will go on to item number 9, action to authorize the ordering of patrol vehicles as budgeted in 2020.
Well, I'm not actually planning on ordering vehicles as of right now. I just wanted to come let you guys know that I plan to shoot out for bids locally here and get those. Once I get those, I'll come back and get approval to order vehicles. I have 2 vehicles that are budgeted for 2020, so.
All right.
Well, I think at this time, we could just,
You don't actually need to take action.
Yeah, it was more of just
Collect, yeah, to collect
awareness, let
quotes,
you guys know.
information only. Thank
Yep.
you.
Sounds good. Thanks, Brad.
So,
Are you trying to get those off a state bid, or are you going to?
I compare to state bid, but I like to shop local as well, so I send out bids to all the local, the Ford dealer and Chevy dealer and everybody local here, and get bids back, so.
What are you using now to transport? Hey, put a lot of miles on that. What is it? Do you have a van?
We have a Dodge, that white Dodge minivan, yep.
That's got a ton of miles on it.
We bought it in 2019, and it's around 30,000 already.
Yeah.
So we have an old Chevy Impala that we'll also use to try to keep miles off that van. But that's one of the vehicles that we're looking at replacing is that Impala, so we might have 2 vans for this year. So depending on where prices come in.
Okay.
All right. Is that it? Thank you. And I think Brad has one more item, but as far as on the agenda, do we have, that wasn't your copier, that was
I do. I have a
Cindy's. All right.
couple folders here. The first one might have Jim Sutton come up, lead the crowd. The first one was given to me yesterday, must have a regional meeting, emergency manager meeting, and it's your 15-year recognition of membership with the South Dakota Emergency Management Association. So they told me to present that with you. I don't know why they didn't do it yesterday when they were at the meeting, but they wanted me to present that to you today, so congrats. I have one more letter here. It says the Office of Governor on it, so this must be important, I guess. All right. It's an executive proclamation, the state of South Dakota, from the Office of Governor. I'll read this here, it's kind of long, but whereas South Dakota was founded with hard work, perseverance, dedication to duty, and concern for others, and each of these attributes can be ascribed to James Sutton, who retired after more than 43 years of public service, and James started with public service as a South Dakota Highway Patrolman in 1977, and retired from his career as a Highway Patrolman in July of 2003 after 26 years of service. And whereas, with just 1 day of retirement from the Highway Patrol, James started his career as the Cottington County Director of Emergency Management, and will retire after serving Cottington County for 16 years. And whereas James earned the utmost respect from all those who worked with him during his years of service as the Cottington County Director of Emergency Management and the South Dakota Highway Patrol. Whereas James has devoted his life to public service and is known for his dedication and willingness to help whenever it is needed. He was always the first person to jump in and help, and the last person, I can vouch for that. He's always there to help. Whereas James will retire January 31st, 2020, to spend more time with his family. Though James has enjoyed the variety that his jobs have provided, it has been James' privilege to work closely with amazing groups of volunteers and public service employees throughout our community, county, and state. And whereas it is fitting and proper as Kristi Noem as governor to make a special note of this outstanding South Dakotan on this momentous occasion. Now therefore, Kristi Noem, governor of the state of South Dakota, does proclaim January 31st, 2020 as James Sutton Day in the state of South Dakota. So, congrats.
We're not done yet.
We're not done yet.
And that brings us to item number 6, action to approve resolution 2020-3. And I'm going to have Cindy. Yeah, you We'll have Cindy read that, please.
Cottington County Resolution 2020-3, whereas in 1974, Jim Sutton enlisted to serve in the U.S. Air Force, and Jim's AFSC was security policeman with duty stations in Duluth, Minnesota, and Kunsan, Korea. Jim completed 3 years of active duty service, whereas Jim proudly served in the Army National Guard from 1979 to 1984 and was a member of the 730th Medical Company out of Winter, South Dakota. Jim's MOS was Combat Medic 91 Bravo. Jim regretfully left the National Guard in 1984 due to the demands of the Highway Patrol, and to this day says, "I wish I would have stayed in the Guards." Whereas in 1977, Jim began his career in public service as a trooper with the South Dakota Highway Patrol. From 1977 to 1982, Jim's first duty station was in Winter, followed by duty stations in Hot Springs from 1985 to 84, and Platte from Platte from 1984 to 1987. In 1987, he was promoted to sergeant and transferred to Watertown, where he supervised the squad of troopers in the Watertown district until 2003. Whereas for over a decade, in addition to his trooper duties, Jim was honored to be one of the chosen members of the Highway Patrol's Special Operations Squad, also known as Alpha Team. This team worked closely with the governor and responded to emergency crisis situations across the state. During his years as sergeant, Jim also took much pride in the opportunity to be cadre sergeant for new recruits of the patrol. This involved training, supervising, and working closely with new Highway Patrol recruits. Jim retired from the South Dakota Highway Patrol in July 2003, and in August 2003, Jim began his public service as Cottington County Director of Emergency Management. Whereas from 2005 to the present time, Jim has been a member of the state IMAT team, Incident Management Assistance Team, and during Jim's time on this team, he has been activated to respond to many emergency situations throughout the state, including flooding at Dakota Dunes, ice storm in Sioux Falls, and fires in the Black Hills. Whereas the position of Director of Emergency Management has provided Jim the opportunity to work together with numerous entities, including setting up command posts for emergency situations, weather spotting, dealing with flooding in the county, storm damage in the county, hazardous chemical spills, drought disaster management, and pandemic flu preparedness, to name a few. It has been Jim's privilege to work closely with amazing groups of volunteers and public service employees throughout our community, county, and state. Overseeing the Cottington County Search and Rescue Team has been a tremendous reward. Jim has been extremely grateful for the support he has received and friendships he has made throughout the years. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners for Cottington County and on behalf of all the citizens of the Cottington County, that Jim Sutton be recognized for exemplary service in the line of duty and that he rightfully be recognized for his dedication to the public he served. Be it further resolved that January 28th, 2020 be designated as Jim Sutton Day in Cottington County, and that a record of this act be spread upon the official minutes of the Board of Cottington County Commissioners. The above and foregoing resolution is adopted this 28th day of January at Watertown, Cottington County, South Dakota.
Do we need to make a motion?
And we do need a motion to approve that
I'll
resolution.
make the motion to adopt that resolution.
All right, we have a motion by Gable. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Van Duzen. I guess we don't have any discussion on this.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think that Jim has gotten a lot of praise here, but I think his wife deserves some of this
Oh.
too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes.
I think his wife and family have been making. Thank both of you for all your efforts.
And I
Thanks for being
thank
here.
the board. I'm very humble, I guess. I appreciate the support that you've given me over the years, and I've truly enjoyed my public service, and I've enjoyed working for Cottington County. And it'll be different on Monday, not coming to work, but there's a time when everybody needs to step aside, I guess, and spend more time with family and do a few other things. So,
Yep.
thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We need to
Thanks for all your years of
we
service.
need to vote on the resolution. Happy Jim Sutton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jim Sutton Day today.
Yes.
Congratulations again.
That honeydew list out.
So we better,
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. We have a resolution adopted for Jim Sutton Day. All right, where are we here? Let's go on to number 10. Discussion, possible action to approve compensation for the planning board appointees. Myron and I, at the planning board meeting, had a discussion with the other board members there, and I don't know, Myron, do you want to go into some of that detail?
And I told them, I said, you know, the planning board is really a tough board. It is. I think all of you will agree that it's a tough board. Last year, the last couple of years, we've been strapped pretty hard. We've had a lot of meetings, a bunch of meetings, and in general, we try to hold them to as short as we possibly can, but some of them get pretty lengthy. And these members that are on the board all have either businesses or farms that they're running, and we're pulling them away from their, production of agriculture or their businesses, whatever the case may be. And we've been paying them $35, and I think the last time they had a raise was about 10 years ago. It went from $25 to $35, and I asked them, I said, you know, we're looking at this right now, and we just want your input. You know, what would you, when you walked out here today, how would you feel happy if we, compensated you for your time? And the chairman of the board, Bob Fox, said he thought about that to some extent, and he said $35 is not enough. And he thought about $100 a meeting, and he said that's too much. And they said somewhere in between. And then he said, well, I basically was thinking maybe about $75 a meeting. And then the others, I think the other board members, there's 7 on the board, excluding Brenda and I. There's 5 others and then Brenda and I, but they all, I think we're in agreement. They like to ask and be awarded $75 per meeting.
Plus mileage.
Like that.
Plus mileage on that.
Plus mileage, and they've always gotten mileage, but
Yeah.
so I said, well, we would bring it back to, we could make the decision there, I said we'll bring it back to the full board and open it up for discussion here.
So with that, is any,
That's where we're at.
I guess, before we have discussion, we probably need a motion in the affirmative, I guess, and then you can always vote however at the end, but
Move to raise that to $75 per piece.
plus mileage. All right, I have a
I'll
motion.
second that.
Second by Gable. Any further discussion?
I think the thing that you should know is that typically we meet every month. So that's typically, so when we talk about what's the bottom line and what the dollar amount is, would be 12 times that, per month. But there are occasions when we do have to meet in special session, when we have, like the wind towers and some of those things, the capital situation, and let's hope we're over the hump. And that the ordinances that we need to go through and review again are a little bit easier sailing. So that'd be just my discussion input there.
Madam Chair, if I could ask, what do you think is the average length of a meeting? Because the ones I've been to have been, probably the average I would say would be in the 3-hour area. I mean,
If you're going over ordinances or probably some of those other special occasions, it could get to be that long. A typical meeting, though, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours, depends on your agenda items, but
Right,
yeah,
right,
those
I
are
understand.
not usually quite as lengthy. I would also add to the fact that some of these individuals have been deposed in court cases a couple times, so, they're also having to be put in those sorts of situations.
That is
We
a
also need,
thankless position.
yeah.
pardon?
That's a thankless position.
Yeah, and with the revenue that we took in last year from the building permits was considerably higher. It is not in the budget, obviously, because Luke, this was kind of after the fact. He would add it in if we do approve it. My thought is out of commissioner contingency for this year to make up the difference if that would
If we
run
need
into
to.
that situation.
Yeah, if we need to.
So,
Yeah.
The
That's-
building permit revenue this year just skyrocketed
yeah, I don't have the numbers, but there.
with the wind towers. So
So,
there you go.
any further discussion? Are we ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, and we will pass that on. Item number 11, action to declare the GEN 01584 Toshiba copier surplus.
So moved.
Motion Johnson, second by Gable. Any discussion? Any explanation? Anybody need
This is the
anything?
copier that was 7 years old that we recently, it's reaching its end of life, and you authorized me to purchase a new one, which I have done. So Office Peeps will take this one away for us and dispose of it.
That would be a purchase, not a lease.
Correct.
That's something we need
So,
to...
My purchase, I think it was like $6,700. I just got the invoice today, and it was a budgeted item that you approved previously for purchase.
so one of the things that, just so people know, that when we buy the copiers, we save a lot of money over a lease agreement. That's a-
Financing, yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the things the Department of Legislative Audit always looks at when they come in, and I think they mentioned it in our last audit report.
So that's, even though we still have to dispose of the old ones, it still saves a considerable
Yes.
amount of money. So.
Yes. And we do get a very good government pricing through Office Peeps. Normally, a copier like this would be over $15,000. And we are getting government pricing.
We appreciate them doing that. They would not have to.
They are good business partners, yes.
All right, any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 12, action to advertise the position of Memorial Park Campground Manager. Do I have a motion on that, or
I'd make that a motion.
got a motion by Waterman, second by
Second.
Van Duzen. Do we have some discussion about that?
Madam Chair, I'd like to amend the motion. I'd propose an amendment to the, I'd move an amendment to the motion to advertise for the position, or for a Memorial Park Campground Management Services, as opposed to a manager.
Okay.
Yeah, I would second the amendment to the motion.
All right.
I think that's correct, because it would be a contracted position.
Yep, all right, so with that addition, something else I guess that I would add to that in talking to Terry Satterley, our HR, this is something that we probably won't go through job service. This will be an RFP because it's a contract. So I think Lee had said he would help maybe try to draw up an RFP for this, and that would be our means to,
Yeah, if you want to,
if you guys are okay with that, but yeah, anyway.
I think I might have messed up on, did we even vote? We didn't, which one did we
No,
vote on?
we didn't vote on that.
So,
On the amendment? All right, we'll vote on the amendment first, I guess. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So then, further discussion?
Well, so for the, so, yeah, what,
Main motion.
yeah, then we need, that modifies the main motion.
Yeah.
So we need to, but so basically, I think we more or less have the RFP written in the contract that Commissioner Van Duzen's been working on.
Okay.
So the template there, we can work that into an RFP. I think that'd be the best thing. And then just so people know, and correct me, Cindy, if I'm wrong, but so since this would be a services contract, I mean, it will deal with it like other services, say like, what the jail does for their medical care, you RFP it, and we'll look at the different proposals that come in. And so it's not going to be a typical, hiring a position process, just so people understand that. And we don't necessarily have to bid it out, so to speak, because it's for services, but it is in our interest to do
Does
that.
the contract include language for the service, the contractor will provide assurance?
We might need to add that, yeah, we probably need to take a look at that. I think
If you're going to treat it as a service, you're going to need some kind of wording on who's responsible for
which situations and
Yes.
Okay.
Like
insurance
workman's
situations.
comp sort of
Yeah, we
thing.
can add that.
Liability,
We should probably add that into the template modified, so, yeah, okay.
Actually,
So,
that motion probably doesn't read quite right. Action to advertise the position. They should be action to advertise the services.
What I said here, my amendment was action to advertise for Memorial Park Campground Management Services.
he took
Yeah.
that position
Yeah.
out.
Do I need to amend my motion?
No,
No,
we already,
Lee did it.
We gotta do
It was
it.
in his motion.
yeah.
So, what do we want to do, I guess?
Well, if we approve it now, we'd just have the freedom to make sure we got the RFP written correctly. I mean, if
And
you
then
wanted
come
to.
back and amend the contract?
It's a template, so we're kind of free to do that, I think. But
Okay.
but I think we do want to keep everybody up to speed, whether we need to take action on it or not.
So
want
we just need to add the
everybody-
insurance part into
Yeah,
that?
yeah, and then we can,
I believe,
Saying that the contractor will provide a liability type of insurance, or what type
well,
of
there's
insurance
a number of
would
things
be?
you may have to address. I'm just not sure what all.
that we found
We'll have to
out
talk to the,
through our other temporary help
Yeah.
that we've had to,
yeah. Yeah,
well,
What do you want
So
to,
I guess
I don't think it hurts to either, I think we could take action on it, or we could postpone it if we're more comfortable with that. That's fine too. I don't think there's, I know this has taken a while, but it's a new thing.
something that we just learned with our
Yeah.
other
It's,
temporary position.
yeah, it's different. Last time, we just interviewed like it was a county position.
Yeah, right, and this will be an
So,
RFP sort of
Yeah,
situation.
but for people who are interested in what's going on, I think they're hearing what we're talking about, and so get your proposals ready.
Yeah, we will be doing it as an RFP, we know that, so.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get it out there, it is February 1st.
Well, that's
And-
good.
Well,
If nothing else, what we've got is we open May 1st. Then our reservation is set up for 90 days in advance. So you got February, you got March, you got April. You're bumping up against the 1st of May already,
yeah,
when people are going to start making reservations.
Let's,
Well-
and I would-
I think we should take action on this today, so that we can move it forward
Yeah.
with.
I believe the contract is negotiable, so I think as a template, you can probably add, that's why a lot of those blanks aren't
Yeah.
filled in, because you do it as, depending on who you
Yeah.
hire, so.
Yeah.
All right, No further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
What are we voting on?
We are voting on
Amended
the
proposal.
amended...
We've already voted on the amendment.
Oh,
So already voted on the amendment.
How about the RFP is...
Maybe I should have done that as a substitute motion. Would have been proper.
It's not an agenda,
No.
it's not on the agenda,
Yeah.
so we can't vote on it. but
Because we did it
to
as...
do that next week?
Yeah. That way maybe we'll have time
Okay.
to advertise the RFP.
Well,
Or, I mean, we have to advertise.
You've got action to advertise.
Yeah.
Either position or RFP is just a
That's the
form.
main thing.
It's not, you just need to move on this.
We need to.
So do you need a, do we,
You need to move
motion?
forward today.
do we need a motion to advertise then?
Charlie made a motion to advertise.
Okay,
We
okay.
have a,
And then Lee made an
I
amendment,
changed the wording.
just
Then I
what the wording
seconded the
is.
amendment.
Yeah, and then we
that
voted
was-
on that.
And
We
that was
voted
voted on. So let's vote on Charlie's original motion to advertise.
Just if I may,
who's on second?
I made the motion to advertise.
Yeah, and we're there.
All right. We're advertising for a deal, whether it's an RFP or not.
Correct. Let's just,
Doesn't matter.
This is the contract you got to live by.
let's just do it.
Okay? All right, so we are to that point.
vote on
We did vote on Lee's amendment to
It's a,
to make it
Change the
the wording to services, and now we are going to vote on advertising for that manager services.
right, exactly.
All right,
Yep.
we clear?
Yep.
All in favor, say
On
aye.
the agenda, though.
It doesn't need to be.
It doesn't. Position or RFP.
This is
We're
not a-
advertising.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries.
I think so.
Your intent is apparent.
Yes.
Let's put it that
To
way.
advertise for it, whether it's a
Yeah.
RFP or what. Okay. Item number 13. Action to adopt animals in the workplace policy for county buildings.
Why don't you bring
Would you ladies like to come up and explain to us?
Hey, it's
I'll
Jody's,
make- I'll make the
Jody's
motion.
birthday.
I know.
I was gonna make sure you knew that.
I know, I was going to say something.
Happy birthday, Jody.
Thank you.
We talked about you on the radio this morning.
Should we say?
Oh, we could.
No, I tried to listen live, but kids, so it wouldn't come on my phone.
Yeah.
Up, Jody.
It is now.
Do you want me to tell you how old she is? No.
Yeah.
No. just-
Not unless the payback, you know.
When was she born?
I'll make the motion.
You know what,
to-
after me?
I'll make the motion.
We got a motion by Gable to accept this. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Johnson. Now we'll get a little explanation and...
Excuse me. I think a couple meetings ago, we had some discussion to create a policy because of some issues with some animals out at the Extension Complex. So Cindy polled some co-workers in other county facilities to see if we couldn't find a policy that we can start from and work from. We have had this reviewed with Becky Reeves. I'm assuming you all have a copy of it already. There's just a couple things I think that we wanted to amend, maybe from what you have. The top says animals in the workplace policy. What if we change that to county-owned buildings and vehicles?
That is on the heading.
That's what-
Is it
that's
on
what-
yours?
Yeah,
That's
so
what we
that's the
have.
motion.
Okay, well, it wasn't on the agenda, so I didn't know if that's what you got. Okay.
Okay.
And then the other thing that we wanted to possibly add is that this policy would not apply to the Memorial Park campground.
Let's see where that's.
And I thought that was getting added in there.
I didn't see it in the copy that, the last copy I got from Becky Reeves. I didn't see it in there.
That is something that's why it went back, was to add that.
That's not in the copy I
Okay.
have.
So I think that's something that we want to add in there.
Yes.
I think Becky thought the way this was set up now, it covered Memorial Park.
Yeah, because
I believe that's why
Because
she
it went
sent
back-
this, because she took something out because she said that would,
It was the leash part,
Well,
right?
down at the bottom, she took something out.
It was,
County property or wandering loose may be impounded. She had changed something in there.
I can,
exception of Memorial Park. That's what.
Right.
I think she took that out because
Yeah.
she said it wiped out
Yeah.
something else.
Oh,
I
okay.
like,
So she thought this would cover Memorial
Okay.
Park.
Madam
We
Chair, I
did not
think-
need to specify
Yes.
that.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I wanted to affirm, because it talks about buildings, and then animals, the paragraph on animals on county grounds must be in the control of their owners is the bottom line.
Yeah.
They can't be chained to certain things. like they can't be chained to or tethered to county property.
So that was the part she was concerned, we
Yeah.
just still don't
I think it
want them
covers it.
tethered and, yeah.
I think it covers it.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Just wanna make sure that
it went
that's
back to her,
covered.
and
Okay.
That's the part she was addressing,
She
so.
purposely took that out because it
Okay.
it negated something else.
That's fine,
in
as
her
long as we
opinion.
know that that's,
So that is.
everybody's
covered.
on board with what that
And I
means.
talked to her just prior to the meeting this morning, and we discussed that, so.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion? Seeing none?
I
Or did you
do
have,
I do have one question yet, though. Are we going to get signs made up then to post on the...
I did look, I'll go around, like for our building, I'll go around with Scott and see where we want signs posted. We'll put some maybe on the exterior by some of the main entrances,
I
get
don't
some
think
metal
we'll have all
signs.
this.
No, no, we'll get some signs. I looked, there's some signs that you can buy. We'll probably just get some paper ones made for now with our upcoming events, but then I'll go through with Scott, at least at our building, and find out what we need so that we can order some accordingly.
well, it might not be bad for the courthouse as well.
Right.
So we have,
We'll kind of see what we've
Yeah.
got. I don't know what other departments really want them or need them, where it might be an issue, but yeah, the courthouse and the extension complex. And I don't know if this is something, do I want to bring that up? If this is something we want to
Just for
address or
summer.
not. For this summer, with flooding and tornadoes, with the shelter. That's been an issue in the past, that people are bringing pets. And our biggest concern with that is the shelter area is the restrooms in the South Expo and that entryway. So we've got, I don't know how many people crammed in these bathrooms holding cats and dogs and ferrets and whatever pet they bring. They have refused to leave them out. I think during that time, if they want to bring a kenneled, their animal kenneled, it can at least be in our barn area. It's not shelter area, but they don't have to leave their pet home. They can at least put it in the barn, as long as they provide their kennel. We don't have enough kennels for what might show up, but,
so that might be something more of a policy that we could put in
Or just an
place.
announcement when,
An
if there is
announcement.
that happens like on a radio station, that, bring your pets in a kennel, not in your arms.
Can we put a line in this
This
policy that basically states that it can be superseded based on event at the discretion of the county
well, I
commission?
think there is something in there, with permission. Yeah, we can, yeah, I can talk to Becky and see if
Because on a
there's
case-by-case
a
basis, there may be a natural disaster where we,
And they can't keep their pets at home. They have to go
Right.
somewhere with them. If you want to put it in a kennel, we can put it in the barn,
thought we had
but we're
that
not going to
before.
have it in the
Running
shelter
around.
where everybody brings.
Yeah, I know we have talked about this before, that
Right.
they'd have to be kenneled, and I thought we had something, but
Maybe in
obviously we
the
don't.
tornado shelter,
Right.
right up when they built that too.
I don't see a line in here, Becky.
You'd have to
but
go back and
It would
ask.
just be a
No,
matter of
that's
putting
what
a
we have
line
to
in there
add.
that would allow
We can ask
that.
Jim if it's in that thing when they built that.
To be honest with you, I never even thought about it. So,
And
Is this a policy or an ordinance?
Or a what?
An ordinance or this is a policy,
Policy.
right?
This is just a policy.
Okay. So, we have the
So would we want a
flexibility.
separate one for disasters, or do you think it should be all
I think it
combined?
should all be in one, just kind of, because it'd be a lot easier to find it. I mean, as you want to know, if you want to know the policy. So
I'll have Becky help me word it.
So then we
in
want
there.
we should probably hold off.
hold off on
yeah.
this one,
I would-
and,
I'd make-
Well, we do want to get it in place before Farm Show.
well, can we amend it later?
my
You can.
suggestion would be is that we approve the policy, and since it's just a policy, we can amend the policy anytime.
Okay.
And we can do that at our next meeting.
Because the
we
emergency
can check-
shelter one, we don't need today.
when you can check to see what it already says
Yeah.
when they built that.
Right, well, Jim,
Well, there has to be a little common sense built into this.
Right.
so,
Because you can't put enough words down to cover every situation.
No,
every
you
time.
can't.
No.
Worse than
And
trying
they
to
won't read
argue
them
with your
all.
2-year-old.
all right, well, I guess we'll check that out with that disaster thing and see if, Jim, if there isn't something already in place on that, and
I'll
get
make
it
a motion
added.
to
I
accept
think
the
we already
policy as
have a
written.
motion and a second.
Yeah, we already
Yeah,
did.
we got a motion and a second.
Adopt a
Okay.
policy.
Yep, so, this policy. Any other further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Item number 14, action to approve claims for payment.
We have two sets of claims today. First one are our credit card claims that we always pay at the end of the month. They are all to Visa ReliaBank. The first one is $157.65 for the Emergency Management Office, and that was for various supplies that were ordered. Second one is for the Register of Deeds, also for supplies. I believe some type of filter was purchased for the office. And then $286.92 was from the Sheriff's Office for various fuel invoices for out-of-town travel.
You heard those. Anyone want to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Gable, second by Waterman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Now the other claim for
The other
payment.
claims would be our January payroll claims. This is the month where we have to list each employee's name and their base salary amount within our minutes. So total salary claims for January were $595,827.05.
Move to approve.
Got a motion by Johnson. Do I have a second? Second by Gable. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Personnel changes. We have several of those as well.
Three of those today, or several. First two are anniversary step increases for highway personnel. Lonnie Vogelsang is maintenance 2. He'll go to step 5, $20.88 per hour. Randy Falvey is maintenance 2. He'll also go to step 5, $20.98 per hour. The 10 cents difference there is an education incentive. The next one is the temporary facilities manager, Steve Mollengrath. He currently receives $22.76 as the weed supervisor. He will go to $25 per hour as the temporary facilities manager. And the next one is temporary consultant to emergency management, Jim Sutton, at a rate of $30 per hour. And he will be covered under the county's workman's comp insurance during his,
When he's called in.
when he's called in,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Because we're considering him as a temporary employee, but it will be a 1099.
Yes.
We're able to do that. All right, do I have a motion and a second on that?
So moved.
Motion by Gable, second by Waterman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? That motion carries also. Travel requests,
None today.
none today. Public notices, we have several of those. Just as noted, is there any new ones that should be added that anyone is aware of? I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
Off and on, there may be a quorum of us that ends up going out to Pier. We never know if a bill comes up that some
Yeah,
of
that's
us
always-
might be
yeah,
going. I
yeah.
don't know how to address that exactly, but anyway, nothing specific because we
It's
never
on
know.
TV. Yeah, it's live streamed if you want to
Yeah,
watch
it's
somewhere.
covered by media. Number 19, old business.
Just a couple things, Madam Chair. So on the legislation, I think last week or the week before, I showed that little video about the legislation where we made the resolution that originated here, went through the County Commissioners Association now, and the idea is to reduce the cost of when we have to build a county building by allowing a county commission to ask their voters for a half-cent sales tax to pay for a building, and that would save a lot of money. That bill number, that now has a bill number, it's House Bill 1099. So it hasn't been assigned to a committee yet, but that'll probably, I would guess, happen today, and a committee hearing would be probably next week. And just to clarify, there's another bill that we talked about during our when we had the legislators here a month or so ago. That's Senate Bill 68, and that is a bill to allow counties to assess or to levy 1 cent of triple B tax. So that's the motels, hotels, restaurants, booze, that kind, that's, so, and basically it's kind of an amusement, maybe triple B, so that's that kind of thing. So it's not a blanket sales tax, and that would be, that would have to be earmarked for public safety, justice-related, the law enforcement type things, and ambulance services. So just so people know, and the hearing for that one is tomorrow. And so for counties, that sounds pretty good. I mean, the overall goal of both of these bills, they work in different ways, is to reduce a county's dependence upon property tax. And so which is something I think we like, because there's a fairness issue with property tax. It is a steady stream, but there are things that people don't like about property tax for obvious reasons. So anyway, those two things are out there, and as I've been out in Pierre talking to legislators about the bill that originated here. Once in a while, there's a little bit of confusion between those two bills. It's not unusual to have similar bills, but these bills are not that similar. They have the same general goal, but they're very different in the way they work. But it's it'd be ideal if both bills got through, but we'll see what happens. So just keeping people up to speed. I'll probably be going out to Pierre in anticipation of knowing which committee the bill we're working on is going to talk to those legislators. So, and there have been commissioners around the state talking to their respective legislators by phone and email, so that's very much appreciated. Yeah. So
that's important. That's our goal this year, to try to have a better connection between all of us, so that our legislators know where we stand. Just
one other old business item on our website. That looks like it's figured out and up and running. We did have a few extra expenses in coding to get from the old provider to the new provider, but I think it's on the order of $600-ish. It's not as bad as it could have been. So I think we're getting good service right now. So overall, compared to it's a local business that does it, and so it's PP Wix, and so things seem to be going well on that one.
I guess it kind of made me think about when Brad mentioned about shopping local. We had a bid on a vehicle a while back. Do we know where that stands, like with local? I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, we did get the
About $3,000.
Yeah, and so Cindy was told to go ahead and have him order.
The state bid was lower than, than local quotes.
Okay.
After thinking about that a little bit, I remember the reason that we took it, number one, is a local bid, the other one was it's available right now. It's immediately available, where if we did a state pool, we would have to wait. Sometimes it's a couple months.
Okay.
But it was the state bid that was approved.
Yeah, I think we all, we need
State
him
bid,
to
but
go ahead.
local business
We all
accepted?
did that. Yeah.
No,
It's a state bid.
it's a
not the
state bid, but
Okay,
it's
so
not a local
okay,
business.
it's not a local then, okay. All right, so it's opposite, okay.
We want to give our local businesses an opportunity to bid those whenever we can, obviously. So
No, that's absolutely.
that was my point behind that.
Yep. Item number 20, new business. Well, I have one thing, I guess. Last Wednesday night, it was United Way's wrap-up on their United Way annual fundraiser, and there was 3 entities that was given the award for partner, and that would be Cottington County, the City of Watertown, and Prairie Lakes Hospital, along with United Way for the 211. So we received the Friend of the United Way plaque, so we appreciate them recognizing us for that. And our other partners, that will be a nice, we'll put that over there, nice addition for our community with 211. And hopefully, it does sound like it should roll out February 11th, so keeping on with that. Anything for the open?
Just in that vein, Madam Chair, Watertown also got a recognition at the state tourism banquet for the Rooster Rush campaign as being the best, tourism campaign. So,
And congratulations also to Dan Miller, the zoo director. He received an award as well for his promotion of tourism in this region. So
Very
good job, Dan.
Yeah. it's nice that we have local folks getting recognized for all their hard work. Okay, item number 21 for the open. Was there anything else, or do you guys have that for the open? So we do have a need to go into executive session under number 1, discussion of personnel issues. So I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Oh,
And do I
second.
have-
I'll
okay,
second.
motion by Van Duzen, second by Gabe. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries also. We will-
Happy Jim Sutton Day.
Yeah.